It has been more than a year since the coronavirus first reached the United States. The Culinary Union says that it has had a lasting impact. Last year, 98% of them lost their jobs. Now, half are still unemployed. Members will also set the challenges aside and reflect on the strengths that got them to this point, the people who helped and encouraged them, and the hope that comes with a vaccine.
In 2020, there was no other organization in Nevada that has done more to support working families during this unprecedented crisis than the Culinary Union has done. This union has done so much. None of this could have been possible without the strength and perseverance of the Culinary Union people.
The CDC is now recommending that hotel workers and hospitality workers get a higher priority for the COVID-19 vaccine. The Culinary Union says communities of color who have highest incidence of COVID-19 infection rates and deaths due to the virus need equitable access to the vaccine.
Long-awaited news for more than 200,000 people in Southern Nevada, workers in the hospitality industry. After months of waiting, they are finally up for their vaccines.
The Culinary Union tells us this step is crucial to getting even more Nevadans back to work.
Casino workers here on the Las Vegas Strip have been waiting for this moment for months.
Restaurant and hospitality workers are now eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
It has proved to be a pretty busy day over at the Las Vegas Convention Center as more and more people become eligible to get their vaccine.
As thousands of people took advantage this Saturday and waited in line to get their first dose vaccination shot.
We've been doing all the requirements, sanitizing, masks, washing hands, social distancing. So we're ready for this.
They passed a law called the Adolfo Fernandez bill that was named after a Caesar's Palace porter who died of COVID. And it requires hotels to do extra cleaning, contact tracing, and testing.
The Culinary Union urging Nevadans to get the shot, saying it is the best way to protect you, your family, the community, and the state's industries.
They've been trying to combat misinformation about the vaccine. The union hosts virtual town halls featuring doctors debunking myths and answering questions in both English and Spanish.
The Culinary Union will remain vigilant to ensure workers are protected at work and to urge hospitality employees to get the COVID vaccine as they are safe, proven, and effective.
50% of the 60,000 union members are still unemployed. The union is fighting for their workers to return to the jobs they had pre-pandemic. But according to the Culinary Union, places like station casinos that fired thousands of people during the pandemic are now wanting the workers to reapply and compete for the jobs they had before.
Station casinos, their massive terminations, 20,000 years of service gone, and no one who's dedicated their lives and years to service should be treated like an old pair of shoes and thrown out.
Senate Bill 386, which creates the Nevada Hospitality and Travel Workers' Right to Return Act. These workers need the promise of a return to their previous jobs as the pandemic recedes and business returns.
Throughout the past year, I've had to watch every penny and make hard decisions about my bills. I get food assistance to try to make every dollar stretch. The Culinary and Bartenders unions have really helped us to get through this pandemic. Us workers made the hospitality industry successful in the good times. Now I think we deserve to go back to those jobs. I've been a union member for 30 years. I am fighting for the right to return to my job. I am asking the legislators to help us by supporting Bill 386, which would give us the right to return to our job.
This pandemic has been a hard struggle for our family. This crisis is not our fault. I had worked hard for station casinos for 10 years. I need hope and the right to return to my job. Please support SB 386.
I should not be replaced or abandoned. I have spent my life working for this company. I should not have to start my career over when I am so close to retiring with dignity. Support SB 386, which would allow me the right to return to my that I had for 36 years.
Local casinos and the Culinary Union are facing off over legislation aimed at getting hospitality workers their jobs back. Union members have been pushing for the right to return since the Strip shut down. The union's battle for thousands of laid-off workers.
The right to return, a topic that sent the powerful Culinary Union marching in the streets for months, is in a bill before the Nevada legislature.
The Culinary Union has a message for employers.
We deserve to come back to work.
We take you to Carson City, where laid-off Culinary Union members got together in front of the legislative building, where they're asking lawmakers to pass the right to return bill. It would prevent employers from using the pandemic to force older workers into early retirement.
What do we want? Right to return! When do we want it? Now!
This was the scene in Carson City. Culinary Union members and other workers from northern and southern Nevada rallying in support of Senate Bill 386.
Well, you may notice some flyers around your neighborhoods urging you to contact lawmakers. In the final days of the 2021 Nevada legislature, members of the Culinary Union rallied for passage of Senate Bill 386.
The door hangers will go out to neighborhoods with more information.
Gaming and Culinary Union negotiators have come to an agreement to guarantee many laid-off gaming and tourism industry workers that they'll be able to return to their jobs. It's known as right to return legislation was struck last night, less than a week before the end of the state's legislative session.
The Culinary Union is applauding the Nevada legislature for standing with hospitality workers after passing the right to return bill. The bill now heads to the desk of Governor Steve Sisolak to be signed into law.
The Culinary Union says it'll protect more than 350,000 workers in Clark County and Washoe County.
This applies to all workers in the hospitality industry. If you are laid off, you'll get first priority if your employer is hiring again.
No, I could just look at my kids and tell them Daddy's going to go back to work pretty soon.
Many hospitality workers see the right to return law as a pandemic-era win for laid-off employees looking for work. Culinary Union said earlier in the pandemic, other major resorts already agreed to a 2-year recall for employees, bringing workers back at the same level of seniority, pay, and benefits. It would be a shame if non-union companies like Station Casinos do not follow the standard set.
San Manuel is buying the Palms Hotel and Casino.
They are having conversations with the Culinary Union for the property to remain a union shop.
Culinary Union said the Culinary and Bartenders Unions are recognized as the bargaining representative at the Palms Casino. Will continue negotiations with current and future owners to ensure workers are protected and jobs are retained.
Stations Casinos has been ordered by a federal judge in Las Vegas to negotiate a contract with the Culinary Union at Red Rock Resort.
This week, a federal judge issued an injunction against Red Rock Casino, ordering it to recognize the Culinary and Bartenders Union as the official bargaining representative for their employees. The judge also ordered Station Casinos to notify employees of the court's order within 5 days and to hold a mandatory employee meeting during work hours to read aloud the injunction in English and Spanish and to immediately recognize the Culinary Union as the main bargaining representative for Red Rock Casino employees.
The pandemic continues to affect Nevada workers. Many of them will now march on the Las Vegas Strip. Culinary Union will host a We Will Come Back Stronger to fight for protection for hospitality workers and their families.
Heading back to work, that's what thousands of Culinary Union members are pushing for on the Las Vegas Strip.
We're live as Culinary Union members march on the Strip.
Denise, this is a massive crowd out here on the Las Vegas Strip.
Well, right now, thousands of hospitality workers, they are marching on the Las Vegas Strip to unite and also to say that they will come back stronger.
It is the union's first major march since the pandemic began.
These are your neighbors, community members, and they've been out of work, some of them struggling to survive.
For me, it was so stressful. Yes, because not been working with the pandemic was so hard for all of us. And for me, I have 3 children which depend on me, so it was very tough.
We will come back stronger. That was the message from thousands of Culinary Union members as they marched down the Las Vegas Strip today. The event showed that over 20,000 are still off the job. One man who hasn't worked since March of 2020 shared how tough it is.
Ready to go back to work.
Union reps hope hotels bring staff back to pre-pandemic levels as more tourists do return to Las Vegas.
Today, for the first time since the start of the pandemic, a portion of the Strip will be closed today for a Culinary Union rally. The theme of the rally, We Will Come Back Stronger.
More than 1,000 casino workers rallying on the Las Vegas Strip tonight, fighting for everyone who was laid off during the pandemic to get their jobs back.
For the last 20 months, I've been out of work, and it has been very hard.
Albert Mora worked at a bake shop inside Caesar's Palace for 12 years, but was laid off in April 2020 during the COVID shutdown. While others have gotten their jobs back, Albert has not. He is not alone. According to the Culinary Union, around 35% of their members are still not back to work. That's why they're sending their message right in front of properties on the Strip.
We'll come back, and we will come back strong.
Union! 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 Union!